This series is part of a larger body of work which we call ceramic surgery, and its idea actually originated when we thought of the concept of getting endangered or in fact extinct animals and turning them into bone china. This was because I didn't have the expertise and knowledge, but it was a kind of eureka moment when we were discussing an idea in which I didn't actually realise that bone china actually had bones in it. You know, it was one of these, you think it's just a word where one of these phrases where you make no assumptions. And so what germinated from that was an idea in which we could perhaps get bones from, in fact, extinct species and then actually make bone china objects out of them. So this idea of kind of creation which permeates all aspects of today's technology and imagination in terms of DNA technology, all this biomorphism and cloning and so on and so forth. I work a lot in collaboration, and for that, it for me is an enormous kind of process of discovery, and it in fact actually opens up more ideas for me, and I learn. It's a great way of actually kind of learning in the process with another person. So this work is this sort of probably the finest and the most worked version of what we've done. I must say I'd say it's a quixotic effort. It's a massive amount of work and rather crazy on our part, but we're actually quite relieved to have it up finally. In a lot of ways, it's been assisted, not collaborated, because we insist that the notion of collaboration is to do with a kind of exchange of equals, but has been assisted by some very preeminent people. Among them is the person who made the glass stones, is one of Australia's foremost glass artists, Andrew Lavery, who was assisted by Marcus Dillon. So what this work then presents is a kind of a series of layered, if you like, sub-realities or hyper-realities. Nothing is real here. Everything is processed, mediated, created, and it is a kind of meditation on the way, on representation making itself and the way we need to make the world. So there's also a deeply kind of allegorical aspect of the work, which goes back to fairy tales and also to horror movies, the idea of creation, Frankenstein, and so on. And you'll also notice that this is, in addition to the work, is this video here. On a very material level, this work also deals with other deep, sort of fairly sophisticated variety of mediations and processes and presences. So you have the video, which is not immaterial and is mediated through technology, and then you have the ceramic work, which are tactile, made, touched, fabricated, skilled objects from a skilled hand.
But where we work in Sydney College of the Arts, which is in Callan Park, which is set up as a garden from the 19th century, and there's a lot of native birds in there, but there's also a lot of minor birds, and the essay in the catalogue refers to that, the minor birds actually decimating the native bird population. So even though they're not yet endangered, they're at that point where you'll see less and less of them. And so in this way, they're being turned into bone china. They've almost been frozen in time, but it's like a future death that's here. The bone china is customised bone china. Each one of them is made from a different domestic bird, so quail, turkey and chicken. And behind you up on the wall there, those photographs are actually the original bones calcined, because they have to be calcined fired first before they can be crushed to be introduced into the clay with the other clay materials. And so in a way, the whole process is here as well as the end product.
This is from a northern island in the middle of a fjord in Iceland, which is a bird sanctuary. These are Arctic terns, and these were Arctic terns that assailed me more or less because they thought I was near a nesting area. So I purposely, in the video, purposely layered the footage so it's not documentary. It is meant to give you a sort of vertiginous effect. It's all about an effect which is intended for the sake of the installation. So it's important to think of this as an installation-oriented work. It's not necessarily a discrete video. I think there's another interesting allegory in this work of King Midas, of course, you know, the children's story, who had the power of touch to turn to gold, and he turned his daughter to gold and killed her as well. So there is some very beautiful aspects in this work, which also a kind of celebration of beauty, and also in contemporary art, sometimes beauty is a bit of a dirty term. You don't use it anymore. There's a celebration of that. There are some very positive aspects in its skill and its creation, and there are also some very melancholy themes running through the work as well.